Hi Rollies, Marvin here from TechBroll.com, where we do unboxings, reviews, and sexy b-rolls. And today, I'll share with you my unboxing and stock build of the GMMK Pro 75% Barebones Kit from Rotobox Philippines. I'll also share with you a quick sound comparison between a stock build and an upgraded and modified build. This video will cover the unboxing experience and my thoughts about the stock GMMK Pro and all the possible upgrade paths. I'm excited about this, so let's get into it. Alright guys, if you've been following me on Facebook, I actually live streamed this stock build and the succeeding upgrades I did for the GMMK Pro. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to follow me there. However, it is in our native Filipino language, so for my international viewers, this summarized YouTube video is for you. Alright, so Glorious and Rotobox Philippines generously sent me these items for a complete GMMK Pro build. This includes the GMMK Pro Barebones Kit, 3 sets of Glorious Panda tactile switches, a polycarbonate switch plate, a signed Glorious Panda toy which is a nice touch, a set of GPBT black ash keycaps, and to top it all off to complete the build, a Glorious gold cable in ghost white colorway to match the white ice GMMK Pro. Alright, so let's do a quick unboxing of these items so that you can have the full experience. Let's start with this cute little Glorious Panda toy. The packaging is pretty decent with some image preview and branding around the box, and then inside the box we just have the Glorious Panda toy itself. It doesn't do anything other than chill out and just being cute. I was hoping you can press it like a normal mechanical switch, but yeah, it is just a simple cute little desk toy. This is actually a perfect partner for my Panda artisan keycap from the Quirkies, right? Next, we have these 3 sets of Glorious Panda switches, and later in this video, I'll share with you a sound comparison between the stock version and the lube version. A single pack comes with 36 switches, so you'll need at least 3 packs since the GMMK Pro has a total of 82 switches. Inside the box, we have a Glorious Panda sticker and the usual quick start guide, which actually just contains a link to the online quick start guide page. The Glorious Panda switches are tactile switches. Next, we have the Glorious coiled cable in ghost white colorway, and as I've pointed out earlier, should perfectly match the white ice version of the GMMK Pro that we have. Here at the back, we have its specifications, and upon close inspection, the quality seems very good, albeit quite stiff compared to most custom coiled cables that I've tried before. Now, depending on your preference, that could be a pro or a con. Personally, I like it soft so that I can easily manage it on top of my desk, but we'll see later how it works out. The coil structure though is really tight, no complaints here. By the way, I showed our new baby Gio on the live stream, so I'll show him to you as well here. He's my new motivation to put out more quality content. Moving on, next we have the Glorious GPBT set of keycaps in the black ash colorway. I think this is a good contrast to the white ice GMMK Pro, don't you think? We'll see. This consists of 114 keycaps and is made out of durable PBT plastic with dye sublimated legends and should fit most 10 keys keyboards, 75% keyboards like the GMMK Pro, and even a full-size keyboard. Out of the box, the keycaps are nicely placed in a set of plastic packaging, and we also have an Ascend sticker and again, the quick start guide paperwork. As a bonus, we also have a standard plastic keycap puller in Glorious yellow colorway. Next, we have the polycarbonate plate, which most likely what I will be using permanently for my personal build because I want to try something different other than the typical aluminum plate, which by the way comes with the Barebones Kit. As you can see here on the comparison table, polycarbonate is the most flexible material, followed by aluminum, while brass is the hardest material. Now, since the GMMK Pro has been out for a while already, POM and FR4 plates are also available from different sources, which I suggest you also check out if you're planning on getting this keyboard. Inside the box, we have the flexible polycarbonate plate and a set of screws for mounting it on the kit. And finally, we have the GMMK Pro 75% mechanical keyboard Barebones Kit itself. Barebones typically mean there are no switches and keycaps included, which most of the time is a better option rather than getting pre-built with switches and keycaps that don't match your preference. Around the box, we just have some branding, some of its key features, and all the important information about the GMMK Pro. Upon opening the box, the first thing you'll notice is the quick start guide paperwork, and removing this foam cover, you'll see a Glorious sticker, a silica gel, and the GMMK Pro Barebones Kit itself nicely protected by a soft foam sleeve. Removing that reveals the rest of the accessories, which includes a set of extra mounting screws for the case, some extra gaskets, a standard switch puller, a standard plastic keycap puller, and white braided USB Type-C cable, but of course we're not gonna use this as we're going to use the Glorious coiled cable. Now, at first look and touch, the GMMK Pro 75% Barebones Kit feels really solid, especially with this all-aluminum construction, including this nice and tactile encoder. Let me know in the comments below how important an encoder is for you when it comes to mechanical keyboards, because personally, it is very important for me to be able to adjust the volume on the fly, especially with our baby around. In terms of the layout, what we have here is a 75% keyboard with some of the knob cluster keys here on the right side, dedicated arrow keys, the usual alphanumeric keys here, and the full function rows up top. This layout is a good middle ground between a 10 keyless layout and a compact 60% layout without compromising anything when it comes to the frequently used keys while still being relatively compact. This is the very reason why 75% form factor is very popular when it comes to custom keyboards, and lately getting popular as well on some pre-built. Now, one thing that is quite infamous about this keyboard is the goat stabilizers. And right off the bat, I can honestly say the same. These feel terrible even without mounting any switch or keycaps on this. It is definitely over-lubed and sticky when bottoming out. I'm still going to use this for the purpose of this video, which is the stock build, but I will definitely replace this with C3 equal stabilizers when I finally do some upgrades and modifications. I'm not even going to bother fixing this, to be honest. Moving on, flipping it on the front side, as you can tell, the top housing fully covers the bottom housing, giving the keyboard a very seamless design, at least on the front side. Flipping it on the left side, however, you'll see the combination of the top housing and the bottom housing here, and as you can see, the bottom housing has this slanted profile for that usual ergonomic form factor. We also have an RGB lining here that may be a pro or con depending on your taste. Personally, I don't typically use RGB on my keyboards, so this is not really important for me. Turning it on the back side, we have the USB Type-C port, recessed nicely at the center with a fairly sized cutout that should be compatible with most USB Type-C plugs. And lastly, turning it all over at the bottom, we have 4 little rubber feet and a rather large Glorious logo at the center. Now, I feel like having an optional brass weight here at the bottom could potentially make this more premium, but considering its price, I'm honestly okay with this. Going back in front, again, as you can see here, these goat stabilizers look and feel terrible, and since Glorious sent me this review sample, I want them to know that they have to reconsider these goat stabs, but at this point, I think they already know that, right? So this is one of the things that requires some modifications for this keyboard to be usable. But don't worry, as I'll share with you all the different upgrades and modifications that I will do with this keyboard soon. Alright, so all that is left now is to install the Glorious Panda switches and the GPBT keycaps, and then we'll do some quick sound tests and comparisons, and I'll share with you my thoughts and recommendations about the GMMK Pro. Now, the good thing about hot swappable keyboards like this is that it is super easy to swap out switches depending on your preference, and if some of the switches become faulty at some point, you can easily replace them individually. The downside is switches are more wobbly compared to when they are soldered on the PCB, and it is also subject to wear and tear depending on how frequently you swap out switches. Now, the GMMK Pro features a south-facing switch orientation, which means not only the illumination is brighter towards our vision, but compatibility with most keycaps should also not be a problem. Now, before we install the keycaps, let's make sure all the keys are working properly using a key tester like the VIA software. As you can see, I have one bent pin, so yeah, this is a very important step on every keyboard build, though it is not as crucial compared to soldered switches. Moving on, installing the GPBT keycaps is pretty straightforward and should be a piece of cake. And as you can see, the GPBT Black Ash perfectly complements the GMMK Pro White Ice with good contrast. Here you can have a better understanding of how the goat stabilizers feel just by simply looking at how slowly it goes back up after pushing it down. As you can tell, it's quite mushy, that's why I'm going to replace this with C3 stabilizers for sure. Speaking of replacing, let me share with you all my upgrade and modifications planned for the GMMK Pro, which I will share all the process with you in the next video. First, like I said, I'm going to replace the stock goat stabilizers with lubed and wholly modded C3 equal stabilizers, and the reason why I chose the C3 stabs is that it is the safest aftermarket stabilizer that is 100% compatible with the GMMK Pro's plate. Durac V2 and other stabilizers are a hit or miss with this keyboard, so yeah. Granted, I could put some effort into cleaning and relubing the goat stabs, but to be honest, I'm gonna replace it anyway, so why bother? Another thing that I'm planning to do is to replace the sticky stock stabilizer dampeners with these KBD fan stabilizer dampeners. You can also choose to use the Band-Aid mod or the Teflon mod if you're into that. Another thing that I want to upgrade is the gaskets on the GMMK Pro, as they are known to be quite thin and don't really do their job well out of the box. Some people prefer the triple gasket mod by simply adding a couple more of these extra gaskets with no extra cost, but my plan is to use the thicker D65 gasket from KBD Fans so that I only need to add one more layer, which is in my opinion more stable and doesn't add an additional point of failure compared to the triple stacked gaskets. Other things that I plan to do with the GMMK Pro is to replace the stock aluminum plate with the polycarbonate plate, remove the unnecessary top-bottom screw holes and screws, and add gaskets there as well. I also plan to remove the bottom case foam and then just tighten the case screws at around 50% to allow the keyboard to have an adequate amount of flex. Now with all that being said, here's a quick sound test and comparison between the stock build and the modified stock build so that you can have an idea about the potential of this keyboard once you put some time into modifying it. And there you have it guys, we'll have a more extensive sound test on the next video with different configurations, I think at least 5. And if you're interested to know how I will do all those upgrades and modifications, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out, especially that I will share it in a step-by-step guide. Now obviously this is just an unboxing and stock build experience and not a proper full review, but I'll share with you my review and all the remaining thoughts I have about the GMMK Pro on our next video. But just to give you guys some valuable conclusion, my recommendation about the GMMK Pro is very simple. If you have the time to tinker with this keyboard, especially all the different modifications and upgrades that you can do, like there are a lot of different combinations that should cater to anyone's preference, then honestly, the GMMK Pro is probably one of the best out in the market right now when you consider the price to features ratio. This is something that wasn't available before that bridges the gap between mainstream and enthusiast level keyboard. However, if you don't have the time and patience and you simply just want a usable keyboard out of the box, then look somewhere else. It's that simple. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Glorious and Rotobox Philippines for sending this in. You can get this from the link below. If you want to learn how I made my GMMK Pro from this to this, make sure to subscribe for the modifications and upgrade videos soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day guys. You're awesome.